Okay, so now we're going to solve question number 1 on the graphing calculator exercise worksheet. Use one variable stats for the following data. First thing I want to say, you may have information in there already. This is the regular screen. The way you get to the lists to use values to find one variable statistics for, if you go to, there's the stat button right there. If you press stat and click on edit, so I'll click enter. And this is where you have a list. As you can see, I already have information on my list. There's a couple of ways to delete information if you're going to put new information. You could kind of go up to list 1 and press up again. And if you press up again, it'll highlight on some, but this one apparently it doesn't. But if I hit clear, in this case, you saw it had all the elements of the list, and I press enter, that'll clear the list out. So same thing over here. I press up on other TI-84s, you click up again, it'll highlight. You can see it has all the elements of this list too, and I can press clear and then enter, and it'll delete everything. Another way you could delete all the stuff from your list is if you go press second, and above the plus you see memory, and you'll see a choice for clear all lists. If I press enter there, it would enter there, you press enter again, done, it would clear all lists. So let's say we want to answer this question. First of all, let's say I didn't have frequency, I just had the data values. I'll click edit, and then I'll go to list 1, L1, and I would put the values. So it's 2, enter, see, you get 2 there, and I'll put 387 as well, same way. 3, enter, let's see, it's there, 8, enter, 7, enter. So now I get those values. So I just have those 3. I'll show the frequency later. Suppose you just had a list of data values. You could just put it all in L1. Then I would simply go to stat, go right where it says calc. You see one variable stats. I press enter, and then you could just press enter again. It'll give you all of your one variable stats. You have x bar is the mean, sigma x is the sum of all the data values, sigma x squared is the sum of all the squares of the values. Sx, we're not using that until the option section. That would be the unbiased estimate of the population standard deviation using a sample standard deviation. We'll discuss that more in the option section. We're going to be using sigma x, which is the population's standard deviation. You have n equals 4. Then down here you have all those values you got from a box plot. The minimum, Q1, median, Q3, max. So you get all those values. Some calculators you'd also see SSX. That's the sum of the squared deviations. So that's what that would represent. So suppose you wanted to find the variance in this case. Well, actually, I'll get to the variance once we get to the frequency data, but that's how you could use it if you have a list of data. Now, as you know, we have frequency. So I'm going to go back to stat, I'm going to go back to edit, and click enter, and now I'm going to put the frequency associated with L2 in this column. So what did we have? We had 27, enter, 32, enter, 15, did I write that? Enter, and 85, enter. I do that, now I have L1 and L2. L2 has my frequency data, so for instance 2 comes up 27 times, 3 comes up 32 times, and so on. So I'm going to click stat, I'm going to go to calc, I'm going to go to one variable stats, I'm going to press enter. Okay, so now it just says one variable stats. Some of your calculators actually bring up a menu that says data values and frequency list. Well, in the data values you put L1, the frequency list you put L2, you press enter, it'll give you this information. If you have an older calculator like mine, this TI-83 or older 84s, it just says one variable stats on this screen. Well, what you need to do is you need to put L1, you could find it right above the 1 over here. So if I go second, L1, you see L1 show up. It assumes that first list is your data values. Now I'm going to press comma, second L2, and the calculator reads that as being your frequency list. So now if I press enter, this is all the data associated with your your frequency. So now this is the data we want. I want you to find the variance writing as many decimal places as you can. It's much easier than writing out this long value for sigma, this 2.264273232, and you don't need to do that. What you could do is you can go to, I'm going to go second quit. Oh, actually, I don't need to do that. I'm already on the screen I want. So this is what I'm going to do. You go to vars. If you go to vars, you'll see number 5 over here, statistics. If you press enter on the statistics, that gives you all those values you got in your one variable stats. I wanted to find the variance. That would be standard deviation squared. So I go to this sigma x, I press enter, and I'm simply going to square this. You see it came up on the calculator list right there. I square it, I press enter, and that ends up getting me my variance with a whole lot of decimal places, 5.12693327, which is what you wanted to see. So that's the first question. So next step is I'll show you 2 and 3 on this list in the next video.